say Karma spun that block? Baby girl spun that block again. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is KARMAKRYSS and welcome to my channel. As you guys can see, I am finally back. I took a little break, but I have a good reason why. And in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about why I took this break, how it affected me, and how it changed my life. So for starters, this is gonna be another makeup tutorial. I looked at my last makeup tutorial. That was real chill, real simple, but now we're gonna step it up a notch, okay? If you guys see my mirror, that's just because I need to look at myself. Got all my products laid out, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So first things first, we've got our primer. Ain't even gonna waste no time, just gonna go ahead and spray that on our face. Then we're gonna go in with our MAC Prep and Prime primer, and we're just gonna wait for this to dry. There is literally a reason why I have not been active on my new YouTube channel, and it is because I caught COVID. Ooh. Yes, I managed to escape COVID for the last 2 years. I have not had it once. In this entire pandemic, I have been around people who have actively had it, never got it. I don't even know what else to say. I just feel like I thought I was naturally immune or something, but now I know that it is not a boogeyman virus, and no, I am not immune. We're gonna start with our brows. I'm gonna do my brows really quick, and then I will jump into the story time. And also, my brows are not waxed again because I have been down bad and sick with COVID for it was over 2 weeks, so I was not getting my eyebrows done, and I still have some lingering effects, so I still don't have the same energy to be as out and about getting my nails done, get my toes done, so bear with me.
So all of my ladies, hear me, come on, sing with me. When I get straight to leave you, always tell me that you need me, and I'm weak 'cause I believe you, but I'm mad because I love you. So I stop and think that maybe you can learn to appreciate me. Then it all remains the same. That you ain't never gonna change, never gonna change.
So as you guys can see, I went in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade in the shade Chocolate and used my Sephora 22 angled brush to kind of shape out my eyebrows, or fill in my eyebrows really. And because they're not done, they haven't been freshly waxed. Again, it's a little harder to get that perfect shape, but that's when I'm going to go in with my Tarte Creases Concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and put this under and over.
See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. Baby, I don't know why you're treating me so bad.
As you guys can see, once I put the concealer under my brow, I drag the concealer down onto my eyelid, and that's how you kind of blend it out and give it that really neutral look, and it also kind of primes your eyelid for the colors we're gonna do next.
See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take.
So now that that is done, I'm going to use this Benefit 24-hour brow setter, and it's just this clear liquid. You just put it, comb it through your eyebrows. No, I gotta switch my hands. So now if I need to touch up my eyebrows, I will do so at the end, but I think we look pretty good. This one seems a bit darker, but brows are not twins, they are sisters. I learned that from my big cousin. So to get into this story time, right, I just want to say COVID has been a very crazy experience, to say the least. I have not enjoyed my experience at all. I also don't wish it on anyone. That's how, I want to say, like, traumatic it was. Like, I just don't wish that on anyone. It had me sick for about 16 days. I kind of did a story time on my main channel, so if you guys want to hear the full story time, I'll leave that link in the description, but I'm kind of gonna give you guys the general overview because you might have already seen the other one while I finish the rest of my makeup. So first things first, we're going to start off with our Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm palette by Morphe. I've had this palette for a few years. As you can see, it's been beat up and ran through the mud, but these are the colors. I absolutely love the colors. We're going to do a pretty dramatic but not not too dramatic eye look. My experience with COVID started when I was about to go on a road trip with my dad. We were traveling up to New York, and I really didn't think much of it, except that would be the first time I would be leaving my girlfriend. So I was kind of like, oh, well, I'm a little nervous about us being separated. You know, this will be the first time we'd be separated in 3 years. And I was afraid of like separation anxiety, because the day before we left, I started to experience some anxiety. I was eating dinner with her. We were watching our show, or one of our shows, and I just had a hard time eating my dinner. Like, the food it was good. It just wasn't that appetizing, and my stomach just felt kind of queasy, and I felt off. So I'm going to go in with the Secret shade. It's kind of a dark chocolatey brown. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the brush, and we're gonna start in our outer corner. We're gonna kind of blend that in, and then we're gonna slowly drag that into the crease. So you kind of really want to get a good base, but you also want to buff it out into your crease and onto the lid a little bit. So anyway, my girlfriend really encouraged me to just, you know, not overthink it, not think too much into it, and just enjoy the trip. So that's what I did. And on our road trip, I noticed that every time I ate something, it really just messed with my stomach, and it made me feel like I had to use the bathroom like immediately. And that's really rare for me, you know. I don't ever have those type of issues where, you know, my food is trying to come out as soon as I eat it. That's definitely different for me. So I was just like, okay, I don't know what. And then I'm gonna start on the other eye as well. How I do my eyes is I mirror them. So I don't overdo one eye or underdo, or forget what shade I use. We get to New York, all is well. We finished whatever business we had in New York, and then we drive back. So everything was good. I was anxious and ready to see my girlfriend, but I'm a big girl, you know, I am an adult. I'm 24 years old, so there's absolutely no reason why I can't survive without her. So I was like, I'll be okay. And I was. I felt much better until later in that week when my girlfriend finally arrived where I was staying. That's the day I really felt like my symptoms took a turn for the worst, because I started experiencing but sinus pressure, body aches. Like, if I moved my eyes around, my eyes were sensitive, they hurt, body ache. I was cold. Like, it's 75 degrees outside, which is warm here, and I'm cold. So I was like, okay, that's definitely weird and something's off. But my mom gave me some Advil. I took a nap, you know, got some food and fluids in my system, and I definitely felt better. But the following week, which was about 4 days later maybe, girl, stuff really hit the fan then. Stuff really hit the fan, because that's when my stomach ache started, and I started experiencing nausea and vomiting, and I was like, oh, what is going on? So I literally spent about 3 or 4 days with nausea and vomiting, and that was the worst experience. While we're talking, I'm gonna go in with the shade Alert. It's like a burnt orange in a sense. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna tap a little bit on the brush, and I'm going to kind of start in the middle of my eyelid and kind of work my way inward. So we're gonna start here and work our way in. And as you guys know, I'm looking in my mirror, which is why I'm looking over here. And try not to go too high up on the brow. Try to stay within like the crease of your lid. Just drag that inwards. So yeah, guys, I spent about 3 or 4 days with nausea and vomiting, and the experience was so bad because it would wake me up. The stomach pain would wake me up in the morning, and it just would not subside until like the afternoon. And I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. So you mean to tell me this virus gives me a break? Like, it gave me a break. In the morning, it would wake me up between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. I would be on the toilet first thing, and it just had this really bad sensation in my stomach, as if I had to keep using the restroom, like I had to keep pooping and throwing up. Like, that sensation never left me. Even if I used the restroom, or if I ate, or if I didn't eat, that sensation never left me. And that was what made it so uncomfortable, because it's like a constant stomach ache. I have never had a stomach ache that lasted more than a day. So this was definitely really difficult for me to manage and difficult for me to deal with. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I'm also gonna use the fluffy end of the brush to kind of just blend those shades out, so they kind of blend, you know, well together. Blending is literally key. Blend, 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 blend. So as you guys know, I do watch a lot of makeup tutorials, but I am still learning, and I am experimenting on my face as I go. I can tell you one thing, this experience was definitely debilitating. It definitely had me down bad, but in all honesty, it taught me a lot. And let me tell you exactly what it taught me. I also have these brushes from Amazon. I don't know, I just typed in makeup brushes. This is what popped up, so they don't really have any names, but this is just a fluffy tip brush, and I'm gonna use that to put some color on my base of my eyelid, and then I'm probably going to do a little bit of that same shade up here. I've got some good ones in here. So this is my Naked Urban Decay Honey palette. So this is the palette I was telling you guys about in my previous video. So we've got some beautiful shades here, and I kind of want something warm. So I think I'm gonna start with the shade Drip. And I'm just gonna place that right here on my lid. I don't need too much color because I'm gonna go in with the glitter shade there, but I just want some type of color right there. In my previous video, I talked to you guys about karma, like what inspired me to call myself KARMAKRYSS. And that was because in life, I just felt like I did not hold myself accountable. And I don't know if we should blame it on zodiac signs or what we should blame it on. I just felt like I never really held myself accountable for things because I feel like overall, I'm not a mean person. I don't go out of my way to be mean to anyone. But I do feel like when I get triggered in terms of like anger, if I just feel irrationally angry, I tend to respond very out of character. And you know, that could lead to burning many bridges with people, making people feel uncomfortable, hurting people's feelings, being a bully basically. And I don't hold myself accountable for those actions because I felt like, oh, well, I acted like that for a reason. Granted, sure, I could have acted like that for a reason, but that doesn't make my reasoning appropriate. That doesn't mean what I did to someone else or what I said to someone else was appropriate. So I just added a little shade on my lower eyelid, or basically on my eyelid, and then I'm gonna go in with the shade Keeper or Hive. I think I want to try Keeper. I've been looking at Keeper, and I'm just gonna place this up here. Lightly place it up here. Like, so in my current life, there have been a few situations where I feel like I was not taking accountability for them, because I just didn't want to be wrong. I did not want to seem like, you know, out of all of the work that I put in terms of growing myself and being a super spiritual being, that I was still capable of low vibrational energy, low vibrational actions, or just being low vibrational, engaging in energies that are technically beneath the place that I have grown to. And I just did not want to accept the fact that I was being low vibrational, but I was. And so I feel like when I was down bad with COVID, my body, not really my body, but more so like my brain was like replaying things over and over and over again. It was like, girl, you're gonna have to learn how to take accountability one way or another. And if you don't do it on your own, this virus, you being sick in bed and having nothing but time to think. When I say karma spun that block, baby girl spun that block again. So I'm gonna tap the shade Honey onto this flat brush, and then I'm gonna pat that on my eyelid. So this shade is really gold and pigmented, and it matches my necklace. FYI, I have a huge sunburn on my chest, and I will tell you guys how I got that sunburn in a little bit.
I keep on running back to you. Baby, I don't know why you wanna do me wrong. See, when I'm home, I'm all alone, and you are always gone.
Okay, so now that I'm pretty much finished with my eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to foundation and concealer. So yeah, guys, I just felt like while I was laying in that bed, my brain was thinking of 1,000,005 things, and my brain was really like, girl, there are some people that you need to apologize to for some of the actions that you have, you know, some of the things that you have done, and don't be too shy to apologize. Like, there is no amount of ego or pride or whatever the case that should make you not apologize to someone when you know you're wrong. And let me be honest with you. I'm going back in with my KARMAKRYSS concealer, and I'm just gonna place this under my eye just like that. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Like I said, I don't know if it's astrology or I'm just blaming it on me being an Aquarius, but I have a hard time apologizing to people because, like I said, I'm not normally mean. So if I go out of my way to be mean to you, I be feeling like it's justified. And half the time, it's not necessarily justified. Like, I be thinking it's justified, but it might not be. And I literally just won't apologize for things because I be feeling like I'm right. Like, I feel like I don't act out of character unless it's necessary. But sometimes, depending on who you're acting out of character with, can really be detrimental to you in the long run. And what I mean by that is, if you're falling out with family members or friends that you truly do care about, but you know, in the moment you're just upset, so you kind of just react irrationally and based off emotions, you can burn a bridge that you may not have been ready to burn. You may realize that after some time, you're no longer as angry as you were, but you've already burnt that bridge. And now you're kind of like, okay, well, I guess, you know, just moving on, no love lost. But sometimes that guilt can actually eat you up. And that's exactly what was happening while I was in that bed. Guilt was eating me up. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. I am not too good to apologize to someone if I hurt them or if I made a mistake. And like I said, karma will always hold me accountable. I call myself KARMAKRYSS for a reason, and that's because I am not too good for my own karma. I will accept my karma, I will accept my fate, and that's just that on it. So I'm going to take my Sephora translucent powder, setting powder, and I'm going to take this little brush, dip some in there, tap off the extra, and just place this under my eye. And that's so my concealer does not crease. Even though I know it says creaseless concealer, girl, we don't know if it's just advertising or if it's true. So I'm gonna let that bake for a little while before I brush off any extra. There's not really too much extra, but I'm gonna brush it off anyway, just in case. And the point of apologizing as well, guys, oh, I apologized and this person has to respond to me and has to accept my apology. That is not always the case. Sometimes you have to give everybody their own time to heal. Just like it took you time to apologize, it might take somebody some time to forgive you or to move on, or they may never move on, but that's okay as long as you just use that moment to kind of, you know, right your wrongs. And that's pretty much what I was doing. It was more than one person too. It wasn't just one person I had to text. It was more than one person, and that just goes to show you that even if you're super spiritual and super into trying to better yourself and trying to grow, we're all human at the end of the day. I don't care what anybody says. Humans are emotional creatures. We have emotions for a reason, and sometimes we act out of pure emotion. I'm not too good to admit that I'm still an emotionally charged person, and I do react out of emotion sometimes. I no longer want to use that as an excuse for why I mistreat people in this world. Like, that's the polar opposite of who I am. That's the polar opposite of the messages I try to send on a daily basis. I don't want to be the cause of anybody's stress, strife, pain, none of that, no more. I don't want to be nobody's headache, okay? So anyway, that's pretty much what being sick with COVID had taught me. It was just like, you are not too good to apologize. You are not too good to just be a better person. Learn from these situations. And that's one thing too, is that you're gonna have so many opportunities for growth in your lifetime. And that's also why I say we are human, and our lifetimes, in my personal opinion, are meant to help us grow. We've gotta learn. And how we learn is through experience. Through experience, through karma, through holding yourself accountable. And the problem was is that there were people in my life trying to hold me accountable. And I was like, I'm not going for that. I know I'm right, and I know you're wrong. And again, Aquarius traits, I think I'm right about everything, and when it finally hits me that I'm wrong, girl, it's like World War III done started. Okay, so now that my foundation is on, I'm gonna go ahead and use this Ulta Beauty moisturizing foundation stick. It's in the shade Deep Cool, and I'm gonna use this to carve out my face. So we're just gonna do a little line here, a little line under the chin, and we're gonna kind of draw like that around the forehead. I'm gonna go in this brush, go ahead and brush this out. Another thing I learned about being down bad with COVID is taking care of my health. So my dad is a health nut. He's a health guru. He has always been that way all of his life. And he has definitely always encouraged me to take care of my health. But you know, growing up, my mom is not like that as much. She cares about her health, but she gonna sit there and fry up some chicken, and she gonna eat what she need to eat and call it a day. My dad, on the other hand, he will literally sacrifice all things that taste good if that means it's good for his body. He has always encouraged me to put my health first. I do to an extent. So, you know, I do read labels and I do try to buy things that are organic, but you know, obviously I'm not perfect, and I'm not gonna try to be. That's the difference. I can live my life always trying to put the best things in my body, which, don't get me wrong, I think we should. But at the same time, 99% of our products, especially the ones on the market available in regular retail stores or regular grocery stores, they got all types of chemicals and stuff in it. And I just cannot live my life like, oh, this has a chemical, I can't eat it. I definitely believe this virus attacked my gut because that's where I was the weakest at. I can assure you guys, for the last year, I have been living my life very lazy, okay? Lazy, but it felt like luxury to me because I had spent my entire life in school and I said, listen, I've got the opportunity to rest, relax, reset myself, figure out what I want to do with my life, rebrand, get more into my YouTube channel, and I took that opportunity. But instead of using that opportunity to prioritize my health, I literally ate Starbucks almost every day. And I'm talking about the croissants, sandwiches, just ghetto, just honestly ghetto. So now I'm gonna go in with my MAC Studio Fix powder, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on my brush, tap off the extra, and we're just gonna put some powder. And again, this kind of makes my skin matte, gives me a matte finish. You know, it's actually nice to look a little bit dewy, but sometimes I just like matte, especially because sometimes my skin can get a little oily, and then I don't want to look oily in pictures, or by the end of the night, I literally look crazy because all my oil is pushing through this makeup. I would drink coffee too many days out of the week. Now, I know a lot of people drink coffee and no, it's not the end of the world. However, if the first thing I do when I wake up is starve until 1 or 2 o'clock, technically you can call it fasting, but starve until 1 or 2 o'clock because I'm too lazy to make something to eat. Then I get up, I go to Starbucks, I drink some coffee first thing, and I'm eating a croissant. That is not food. And then I don't eat a real solid meal. Girl, no wonder my stomach was all jacked up. My microbiome in my gut is probably like, girl, you're not feeding us right. So when this virus hit, it was like, we ain't about to do nothing for you. So what you put in your body really matters. Your body will take care of you if you take care of your body. So now we're gonna move on to lashes. So I have these lashes. I don't remember the brand. I threw the rest of the container away, but I actually do reuse my lashes. Oh, my glue is looking real janky. I can tell you guys, this is what actually turned my symptoms around. So like I said, I had been sick for days and I just felt like there was no end in sight. But I decided to call my dad and I was like, Dad, help me. Like, I know you've been giving me advice on what I should do and I'm not listening to you, but help me. So my dad's original advice while I was sick, you know, throwing up and everything like that, he was like, girl, what you need to do is you need to fast and you need to drink what he calls super juice. Now, super juice is a mixture of distilled water, apple cider vinegar, pink Himalayan salt, and organic honey, and the honey is optional, right? Oh, and lemon, sorry. So the purpose of that is basically to raise the acidity of your stomach. It's to change the pH balance of your stomach. And basically what he believes is that all of those ingredients are superfoods in themselves, but combined, they really can eradicate your gut of any kind of viruses, whatever the case may be. And I did not listen to him at first because I was in, like, I had a really bad stomach ache. Like, well, the stomach ache was bad, and then I was also so hungry because I kept, you know, stuff was coming out that way and stuff was coming out this way. I was so hungry. So I was like, I'm not listening to you. I'm not gonna just drink this drink all day and not eat no food. I need to put food in my body. I am starving. So, oh no, I put it on wrong. Dang it. Wrong eye. What I actually learned though was that fasting is actually really essential to resetting basically your whole body. You can look at our bodies like refrigerators. When you go to the grocery store, you buy items that need to be refrigerated, you stuff them in the refrigerator and then you use them as you go. But what happens if you just stuff things in the refrigerator and you never check the expiration date? Your milk goes bad, your eggs go bad, your meats go bad, everything in the refrigerator becomes spoiled because everything has an expiration date. But as humans, we don't always pay attention to the expiration date of the foods within our stomach. So for example, I could eat all week, 3 solid meals a day, snacks, junk food, everything like that. When does your body have time to actually process any of those foods and actually properly evacuate our foods? So if you ever hear that people be full of shit, it's literally because our colons have so much food backed up in them, and that can actually be really toxic. It can actually affect our immune system and our brain in a sense. Y'all, I think my camera overheated or something, but as you guys can see, I put on my lashes and I used my Kylie Good as Gold highlighter and I just placed a little bit of that. I used my all-nighter setting spray like that. Last thing, this is the Kylie Jenner High Gloss Glamour Lip Gloss. Just gonna place a little. I'm a gloss kind of girl. You will not catch me wearing lipstick or lip liner. Not yet. I'm not really into it. Gotta end it off with a little Tom Ford. I got a huge sunburn on my chest from when I sat out in the sun. I sat out in the sun for about 5 hours, y'all. 5 hours. And that's what really, like I said, took my symptoms from me feeling like I needed to go to the hospital to me feeling like I can do this. That sun really knocked out the last bit of like the problematic part of the whole virus.
See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. Baby, I don't know why you're treating me so bad. You said you love me, no one above.
So if you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial, you like what I've got going on, make sure you like this video, comment your favorite part, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, turn on your post notifications so you can be notified as soon as I post a new video. Alright guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're new here, which all of you are new here, make sure you leave me a comment below. Let me know who you are. I'm KARMAKRYSS. I want to know who you are. And I will see you all in the next video.